And I think seeing her as the main character shouldn't be a surprise. This is one of the main things I would say that made Witcher such a popular game. Realistic muscles stretching on the model in real time. Oh, do you want to play some Gwent? Well, no, I don't want to play some Gwent. Please. Hello there and welcome to the Nest. Today we will be reacting to The Witcher 4, a new tech demo and a new tech demo cinematic trailer that just popped out from IGN. We will be looking at both of those. I haven't yet seen them fully, so it's my fresh new reaction. I just want to start out by saying that I'm a huge fan of the franchise. I've played the games, I'm reading the books currently, I've watched the series as well, some of the short films. You're also going to see a lot of content with The Witcher 4 when this pops out. We're going to have some gameplays, you'll see it on my stream, and I'm in general just a big fan and looking forward to this release, which will most probably happen in 2027. It might even take longer than that, so keep in mind we still have to wait quite some time before we actually see this game. We've got Ciri now as our main character. We're not talking about Geralt that much anymore, but we're going to see how that plays out. I'm quite happy. I'm looking forward to an expansion of the series. The universe in The Witcher is so vast. You have a lot of characters, you have a lot of monsters, a lot of regions, environment. It's really a big universe, and I'm really happy to see more of that universe. We're definitely going to see that in this game as well, since we're talking also about a new region. But let's not yap anymore and react to the new videos that just popped out.
Sleep, is he? The ploughing plonker. Break me pearlies on this blasted pit-ridden tract. With fear not dry road. Oi! The devil's after him! This running from! Look out there! Shield us!
Oh. We've got a dragon or something right there. A wyvern. Oh, never mind. All right. Haha, here she is. Ciri.
Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
I would say a fairly classical Witcher scene. So some guys got attacked by some monster in the middle of the night, right, in their on their journey somehow. We kind of see different influences again, some oriental, I would say, influences. So we already know that the game will be happening in Kovir, which will be a new region. Some interesting, maybe new monsters we're going to see, and then Ciri again, which is like the main topic in this game. I'm really curious about her Witcher skills, about her becoming a Witcher, because this is quite a controversial topic. For someone to become a Witcher, they have to go through this trail of grasses, which the recipe of was kind of lost in time, but then somehow regained. And I think like Teased also was able at some point to, Teased and Vesemir were able at some point to redo the trail. In the series, we even see Ciri willingly somehow to become a Witcher, right? She even asks Vesemir, and Vesemir almost injected her and started this trail of grasses with her. So I would say it's plausible theory, but then again, there's more the story about how much Witchers are still needed in this universe, right? Because if you read the books, this is kind of the main topic of the books. This question, do we still need Witchers? I remember in the books, Geralt is always on the run trying to find new jobs, right? Because especially high-paying ones are not available that much anymore. That's one of the questions. The second one, usually Witchers, as far as I've known, they're exclusively male. But we need to see how the whole thing about Ciri becoming a Witcher is actually possible. if it's needed, if it was just maybe her choice at some point. What's Geralt's opinion and take in this whole journey? Now, regarding the trailer, maybe a bit more, we see this letter, right? We also see this coin that are kind of some thematics, right, of this trailer. We see again a different writing in here, so some kind of oriental influence, maybe some numberings in here, like counting maybe days or coins or people killed, or so it's quite intriguing, I would say. Looks like Ciri's on the hunt in this case. We also have this mysterious box, right? It looks like these guys are trying to deliver something. So there's definitely more to the story. We'll see again how much the story goes in a political direction, because Witcher, let's remember, maybe Assassins of Kings, right, the second game, and also in the books you see a lot of political influences, and this discussion about Witcher somehow being neutral from a political standpoint, but still somehow being involved in these matters. And it's always this fight, this internal fight that Geralt has also in the series and in the books and in the lore in general, between staying true to himself and staying a neutral character in all this political world, or actually getting involved in their affairs. So yeah, this is another question, and it's interesting to see Ciri's take on this whole topic, since she's also a princess, right? She's Emir's daughter. So she's maybe somehow the heir to the throne, to Nilfgaard's throne. But yeah, that still remains to be seen. It remains to be seen where she kind of positions herself, how much of a witcher she is, how much of a sorcerer she is, how much of a political person she is. So it's really interesting. Ciri is a really interesting character, I would say. I would go maybe even that far to say that she has more story and more... the focus is somehow centering Ciri even in the normal story where Geralt is the main character, because everything revolves around her. So Geralt's objectives, Geralt's quests, Geralt's life, also the political situation on the continent revolves around her. The Wild Hunt revolves very much around her. So she's a really important character in the whole series. And I think seeing her as the main character shouldn't be a surprise, and it should be quite interesting actually. I'm really looking forward to it. So that was the tech demo cinematic. Now we'll move forward to the next cinematic, which is called The Witcher 4 Unreal Engine 5.6 tech demo, State of Unreal 2025. This one is a longer one, has 16, almost 17 minutes. This tech demo is running on a PlayStation 5 with ray tracing. We only see it in 1080p, so that's full HD 60 frames per second. There are some people complaining in the comments, and maybe even I am quite complaining about this, that we don't have a 2K or even a 4K version of this cinematic, of this tech demo. But again, given the fact that it is recorded on a PlayStation, that might also represent some kind of limitation there, right?
This is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher 4. What you just saw and are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing. So in the game, you'll be playing as Ciri, a professional monster slayer, a witcher. She explores the world and hunts down monsters for coin. The region we are in is called Kovir, and you'll get to explore it in a game. Right now, Ciri is investigating a monster, and after gathering new clues, she is heading back to a nearby village. Alright everyone, meet Kelpie!
Let weeds be weeds, Kelpie.
So just like Geralt had Roach, Ciri has her own loyal companion.
We return to town.
These two characters need to feel like one. Since you're gonna explore the world on horseback, riding needs to feel seamless, natural, and just fun.
Okay, so this is a good take. They didn't want to change that, I'm assuming, because this was kind of like a core concept of the Witcher series, right? You have Geralt, you have Roach, which funnily enough is not a single horse. There are many horses that died over the years, and it's just Geralt getting a new horse and naming him Roach every time. So now we've got Kelpie again, which is Ciri's trusty companion. As a continuation of the series, it's nice to have these elements somehow still matching the main concept. Impressive to see this recorded on a PlayStation at 60 frames, even though it's only full HD. So we again see the the skybox, we see the environment that's really crisp, looks so good, looks so real. This is one of the main things I would say that made Witcher such a popular game and such a good looking game, right? Because you always have this breathtaking landscapes. Every region looks different, feels different, right? In terms of environment, and in general level design was a really strong point in the Witcher series and in the Witcher games. So I'm glad to see that even though they changed engines, these things still stays the same, because there are also some comments when it comes to Unreal Engine, especially that the post-processing configuration, which kind of looks similar for a lot of games, and make games usually feel kind of similar if it's not properly customized. So we want to see a pretty customized pipeline here. We want to see some really unique graphics, and I would personally want to see again that this still remains a strong point of the game, even though they switched engines.
Yeah, and to support that, we're introducing multi-character motion matching in Unreal. So Ciri and Kelpie, they're perfectly synchronized when mounting from any angle and speed. And we also support root motion movement on Kelpie, so controlling her feels realistic and grounded. And there are also some really nice improvements to our Unreal Chaos Flesh Solver and these machine-learned deformations. So you've got realistic muscles moving and stretching under Kelpie's skin without compromising the performance there.
Okay, that's quite nice. Realistic muscles moving and stretching on the model in real time. They basically mentioned that there's no performance degradation due to this feature, but that's still up to see. I don't know if I've seen this in a game so far. Definitely makes the game more immersive, more realistic.
So let's leave Ciri behind for a second and talk about the world itself. So much of the Witcher world is natural, organic, especially Kovir with its dense forest and wild nature.
Yeah, and wild nature is hard. And with nanite geometry, we've freed artists from so many of their old constraints. But we don't want to rest until everything we do in Unreal has that same spirit of freedom. There's always more work to do. And foliage is a huge piece of that puzzle. So we are excited to introduce nanite foliage. And in order to achieve gorgeous foliage density everywhere, while still being memory efficient, fast to render, we believe that a new idea was needed. So instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage, modeling every single leaf and pine needle. And the old LOD tricks of the past, they needed a complete rethink. And in their place, it's a new adaptive voxel representation in nanite. It's volumetric, it's fully 3D, it is super fast to render. And these dense clusters of triangles turn into these cubes, which at a distance, they're no larger than a pixel, and they react to the changing light of our dynamic sun and our shadows, and they allow artists to render whatever amount of foliage is needed to achieve their vision without compromise.
And no compromise means how ambitious we are when it comes to bringing our vision to life with incredible visuals. But more than that, together with Epic, we created faster way to load the world. We can now bring in more content more quickly for the smoothest possible experience as we fly down to catch up with Ciri.
So as they mentioned, the new region, this Kovir region, will be natural dense, natural focus somehow region. So I see the point in improving this aspect from a technical standpoint. We definitely see the trees, we see the mountains, we see the water. Definitely feels real, feels natural, feels picturesque somehow.
Welcome to Valdrest. So Valdrest is a port town, a hub for fishing, trade and mining. It's one of those places where you can meet shady characters or overhear gossip from other lands. It's also where Ciri took on her current contract. High-tech, let's leave Kelpie here and explore the marketplace and food.
Okay, so this is the first city that we've
I'm
get
so
introduced to.
excited we can finally show you some of this stuff. Let's see what Valdrest has to offer.
Not her again.
Not even at the land Exeter Fair! Now, 9 gazes while I present him with a fish for the furry rat.
Whoa, that's cool.
And the bear's weight grants good
A bear as a pet, right?
Guys, notice how
Whoa.
responsive the world is.
Okay.
Character
So I just want to say before anything else, there's another strong point of Witcher. Usually, even in the Witcher 3 game, although it's a pretty old game, you still have a lot of interaction with the world, a lot of interaction with NPCs. And we see now that this gets upgraded. A lot of interesting NPCs, each having their own life that happens in parallel with your adventure. A real pain point in recent games, and the thing that, again, was a strong point for the Witcher series so far.
Pardon.
Guys, notice how responsive the world is.
Like, even the fact that the apples fell on the ground.
Guys, notice how responsive the world is. Character actions directly affect what happens around you.
Oh, and the kid went to pick them up. Wow, okay, that's really next level. That's really next level. If you can trigger some behavior in the NPCs that trigger other NPCs' behavior, that's really mind-blowing. Like, I haven't seen that in a game so far. It would be really nice and would feel really natural.
Sometimes even setting off chain reactions. Everything is working together.
Chain reactions, yeah. That's cool. It's definitely cool.
Oh, look at this poor gentleman being taught how to fly by an angry innkeeper. That's what happens when you cheat at Gwent.
Last of it, is it?
Let's hope you won't see that much Gwent in Sorry, but I know there are some really big fans of Gwent out there. Some of you guys, I don't want to make anyone mad. That's the only thing that I have not really enjoyed about Witcher. Besides just the memes. Geralt just walks in a random inn and interacts with a random NPC and he's like, oh, do you want to play some Gwent? Well, no, I don't want to play some Gwent. Please. I really liked Hearthstone and usually card-based games like, I don't know, Duel Masters or Yu-Gi-Oh! I was really a big fan of those. But then Gwent, I don't know, just it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Maybe if I would have explored it more, definitely.
Ready to wait.
Jingling the purse.
Okay, so this is the guy who gave the series quest his own. Like you probably suspect, he has his own agenda in all of this.
You're off your tits again, Wilfred. Get your ass up.
A typical day's toil.
Who in? Witcheress. What news of my wagons? No eternity is taken to that damn salt.
Okay, so he called her witchress, so that's interesting. That's an interesting take. There are people out there who know about a witchress existing there somewhere, but yeah, let's see.
To arrive.
I found them. And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you.
We also see Ciri growing old, right? So she's early 30s in this series, and we can definitely see the facial expression. I mean, it's still Ciri, but yeah, some time has passed, and
No
you
eternity
can
is
feel
taken
that.
to that damn salt to arrive.
I found them. And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you. As for the salt, I found not one speck. I presume this comes as no surprise to you.
Now. Kovir's smuggling trade is of no concern to me.
Shush, shush, shush.
The manticore that flattened your cart and devoured your men.
Okay, so it was a manticore, it wasn't a wyvern or dragon, whatever I assumed before. These guys were some kind of merchants, as far as I understand. They sold salt.
Quite the opposite.
Manticore. No, them winged hellspawn dwell in the arse end of Creighton. Not here.
While Ciri decides what to do about that merchant, let's take a look at the character technology that powers this marketplace. Why don't we listen in on these fishmongers? They're selling their wares, chatting up customers.
Morning, catch fishes. Won't find none fresher.
Rugged me ladies after one of them.
Get this cleaned and gutted for you. You mind, dearest? Interesting, something more. Got mackerel, cod, all Braxton's finest.
And there is tons of tech at play here, even in this simple market stall. Metahuman tools, improved Unreal Smart Objects, Chaos Cloth, and more.
Yeah, and all of this exists to make sure that the gap in quality between Ciri and NPCs is as small as possible.
Yeah, and closing that gap, it's not just about fidelity, right, but also authenticity. They should react to changes in the world around them.
But the prisoner in Pillory isn't exciting enough for Valdrest. Let's grab everyone's attention with a circus. But the great performance deserves a huge crowd though. Let's crank it up.
So you are seeing tons of optimizations here to many of Unreal systems, including an entirely new Unreal animation framework, allowing us to fit easily in our 60 FPS budget, not just in rendering, but also with room to spare on the game thread. Over 300 animated skeletal mesh agents all going about their business. And the whole point is to leave breathing room for developers like you to introduce the gameplay and the systems that your players expect, empowering you to make your worlds come to life without Unreal standing in your way.
You are right. That's the open world RPG that we're making. But before we wrap up, how about one final check-in with Ciri? We are making this game to be the most immersive and ambitious open world Witcher game ever. And we are making this a reality thanks to our work on Unreal with the team at Epic. I think what we are doing together is going to bring in a new generation of open world RPGs, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished so far.
We are too.
So we're almost done, but before we go, here's a small gift for all Witcher fans. A first look at Lanexeter.
Whoa. There's the Manticore as well.
Onward, Kelby. We've worked.
So I really got goosebumps at that scene. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not overreacting. Yeah, it looks so amazing. Like, just look at this. Oh. Music, the scenes, the cutscenes. Oh, this feels so good. This feels so Witcher. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so this second part of the tech demo is mostly focusing on Unreal, so I won't be reacting to the whole thing. But it's really interesting to see what they brought in this new version of the engine, right? In Unreal 5.6. They have a lot of new custom stuff, I would say, that might solve the problem that everybody complains about. Mainly that games made in Unreal tend to look similar. But now, with the new things that they presented and that they are already using in the development of the game, it looks like it's a huge step up for the engine as well. And it might make the Witcher 4 game feel really fresh. I really like that they're having this nanite foliage thingy, right? Which is relevant and is crucial for the forest and for the vast nature that they have in this game. It's not only an improvement from a visual standpoint, but mostly from a performance standpoint, because you have all these building blocks. You have all these branches, for example, right? In the case of building trees, all these different ones that you can just build together in such a way that they don't look repetitive. They look very natural and authentic, but they're still very performant, right? Since they also do this thing with nanite assemble, if I understood correctly, is the first thing that lets you use these branches, for example, in case of trees again, as building blocks. And then it's the same thing that also allows skeletal animation for each individual building block. So each branch basically interacting with the wind. That's crazy if you think about it. So this whole technology without the drawback of performance issues, it's a really huge thing. And they have this quality, right? Like that you see right here, that if you zoom in, you really see the models at a very high scale, fully interacting with the wind, with other environmental changes. And then when you move back, you have this whole LOD implementation, so you don't see the difference. When you step away, you still see it as a full high quality scene, and when you move closer to it, you see it again in high resolution. You see this high level of detail. And this is also a huge storage improvement, right? Because instead of storing the whole tree or different types of trees and stuff like that, you have the building blocks, right, that you store, and then you just rearrange them in different patterns, and you create these scenes that still look authentic enough, but still require less storage than in a normal game. So it's really impressive what they've done in here. I'm really looking forward to play this game. I think it might be a huge step up for AAA games. might be even introduce like quadruple A games. But again, this is a huge discussion and it's a huge debate in the gaming community, especially that games started looking better, but somehow they don't focus that much on first of all on the content. So you see a lot of AAA games that are really feel soulless, and you have like 100, 200, 300 hours that you spend into the game just for irrelevant side quests and more content. And Witcher, from this standpoint, was a really good game. So even the side quests in Witcher 3, if you do them, each has its own story. You meet the like unique characters, you meet unique NPCs, unique storylines, right? You unlock a lot of stuff, so it really feels rewarding, and not just rewarding from a gamification standpoint, but also rewarding from a lore and a universe expansion standpoint, right? Because you get to know another side maybe of Geralt, or how he interacts in a specific scenario when he's presented with a specific situation. And I feel like if they combine that with the performance optimizations and aesthetics that they just presented with these new technologies, it's just going to be a really good solution. I'm really looking forward to the new Unreal Engine and maybe to more games being made in this new engine and with these new optimizations and with these new features that they brought here on stage with this tech demo. And yeah, the game just looks amazing. I just hope they will take enough time to do it properly and not have a similar situation that they had with Cyberpunk, for example, right? That they released it, nobody was really playing it because of the bugs, and it was so crappy and hard to actually play it. It was not really playable at a certain degree, right? And then they really took another 1 or 2 years, I can't remember exactly, to improve the game and to polish it. And I really played the final version of the game, and it's I can say Cyberpunk 2077. If you haven't played it in after the first release, I suggest you go try it again, because it's a really good game. So no one wants to see the same thing happening with the Witcher 4 game. Everybody wants the game to be polished enough before it being released, and they feel like they tried to do that with the pretty safe release window. So we're not expecting the game at least until 2027, which might be a good thing, like a bad thing, because we have to wait that much for that game. But again, it's a really good game. It's built upon a really complex and engaging and immersive story. The universe is so vast, and if they bring these technological advancements that they presented in this tech demo, I feel like this game might really hit the spot. Like in terms of vibe, for example, for someone again being a huge fan of the franchise, this really feels like a Witcher game, right? It really feels like a Witcher game. We've got the environment, which is really polished. It looks good. We get to know new regions, new towns, new NPCs, new stories. And I would really like to see that we have enough variety in the environment and in level design. But again, from a technical standpoint, this whole synchronization, this new muscle simulation with the improvements that we've seen in terms of environment, LODs, these building blocks, right? The nanite foliage and the nanite assemble that they use. We see a lot of focus on performance, and I guess again they also mentioned that because they want to have a constant 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5. So it would be really good maybe to see an optimized version on PC as well, because I feel like games nowadays are really lacking this feature, right? They're really lacking performance focus. They just are a huge slop of, I don't know, 100, 200 gigabytes. They require a lot of resources. Gaming rig, if you really want to play in high resolution, it's expensive. It's about €1,000 or of dollars, right? Nowadays, so PlayStation is a more accessible console, and I would say PlayStation is a good thing in the gaming world because it really encourages the studios and the development teams to focus on performance as well and on performance optimization, which again, I feel like it's a huge pain point in gaming right now, right? Then we have the NPCs, the authenticity of the world, the fact that you can interact even more than you were interacting in a normal The Witcher 3, for example, game. And even there, it was like on a good level, right? We see chain reactions in the world, right? Like you interacting with NPCs, triggering a specific action, and then other NPCs interact with that action. For example, this kid, right? You hit that man, apples fell on the ground, and then the kid went after them. So this is like a chain reaction. I was really impressed by that, and also the fact that they focus again from a performance standpoint on a new animation framework that they have in Unreal 5.6, right? To leave breathing room. They also mentioned this for more characters, in-world characters having their own unique animations, their own lives happening, right, in parallel with yours. You feel like you're part of a universe. That's a huge focus as far as I can tell. And in general, it's just, as they mentioned, immersive, an ambitious project. Like, I really got goosebumps in the end scene where we've got this Ciri riding with this manticore in the distance and the castle and the environment. Exactly, this one just, man, it just gives me goosebumps. Like all these angles again that we see, the face of the characters, the face of Ciri, her growing older, seeing the very same Ciri that we all love, but now pushing 30s, right? It's amazing. And it feels like, for example, for me personally, maybe I'm a bit biased, I would say that, because I really like the series. I really enjoy the universe that Andrew Sapkowski created, and in general the whole lore. And yeah, that was my reaction to the tech demo of Witcher 4. I'm really looking forward to this game. I want to play it with you together on the stream as well. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you agree with me or if you disagree on certain points. I feel like it's a huge technological improvement. I feel like they focused well enough on performance as well, which was a real pain point so far in the gaming industry, and I feel like it has huge potential. It is an ambitious project. It's very immersive, it feels very authentic. They still kept the good thing from the Witcher 3 game and from the series in general, right? With the interaction between Ciri and the horse, with the NPCs, with the environment, right? Those picturesque and really crisp and fine looking environments that just made you want to play more and more of Witcher, right? And now focusing on performance as well, to be able to have such a scene that we've seen right there in the tech demo on a PlayStation running in 60 FPS plus ray tracing. I feel like that's a really good spot that they're hitting right there. Now let's see how much development will take and how good the actual release will be, right? Because CDProjekted had some flops here and there, especially with Cyberpunk, and no one wants to see that again, right? That was my reaction. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and activate the notifications, turning on the bell below. I will be posting more reaction videos as well on my channel. I'm mostly focusing on live streaming and short form content, but I have some more content coming up your way, some more types of content that I'm experimenting with. Let me know if you want to see something in specific. That was my reaction to the Witcher 4 tech demo and to the new cinematic trailers that we've got. I'm really looking forward to it. I will be following the development of this game, and we will play it together on my stream. So without further ado, thank you so much for watching this video. Stay close to my nest and see you soon.